Hey team, we here at the other location talked about how we're going to be doing some work at this location. You can see, if you look at the red slide right there, it's spraying pretty good. If you remember, we did some maintenance under this box right here at my site, and we have the exact same attraction. What it is when they actually have the same failures here, the pipes breaking from the freeze. So when they replaced them, they just needed to adjust the valve. Unfortunately, they didn't adjust the valve, so we're gonna have to get under there at one point and adjust the valve. Now the water's a little dirty. We're still working on the filtering of it, but we wanted to check for operation. We did have some brakes on the stubs that go up to the slides. We've repaired those, got those going. You can see this brand new pipe sitting right there, Schedule 80 going up. And we've talked about this before. No matter what, I replace all my pipes with Schedule 80 when we are doing repairs. It's just for longevity. So you'll also see water's pretty dirty in the runouts. I'll get through them and clean them all out. Earlier, yellow, green, and pink on the other side were not running. What it was the catch basket was actually completely full. That red slide was shooting about another 5 feet. It was pretty intense. What happened is it started slowing down when the basket started getting even more trash in it. So we'll have to clean out the pump house, get it all cleaned up and ready to go. And the bucket just dropped earlier. We're gonna have some really good fun with it. All right, we'll talk about the pump room here in a second. Here we are, team. We're in the pump house for that attraction now. And this pump house, it's a couple of attraction actually. You can see this probably looks familiar if you've seen the kids attraction video. It's the same attraction. Of course, the pump pit's a little bit different. But what we got here is stubs coming off those motors. The only thing I don't like about this system, this setup, is how close the catch baskets are. They're pretty close. But nonetheless, you know, they're really nice. These are the Neptune Benson Guardians. They're really nice with the clear tops. You can tell it's pretty dirty in here. I am gonna get in here and clean this all up to my standard. You guys have seen that although my pump houses might have some water on the floor, they're relatively clean. And I'm going to make sure that we try and uphold the standard out here as well. I'm not trying to dog anybody at all, but I want to get it up to a standard that I can be proud of and put my name on, of course. So you can see there's another Defender filter. If you remember, the screen or I can't think of the name right now. The viewing glass, I guess. It's a little bit smaller. So this was actually a used unit, and we were able to pick it up at a substantial cost reduction. It was really nice, and they refurbished it for us. I'm having a problem with the VFD up there for it, but nonetheless, I'll get her going. I've got her filled up with water now. I've got a small leak up there they got to repair, and we'll get that going. So let's go look at the search pit. This one's a little shallower than mine, and unfortunately it's now dirty because I turned on all the water. But it is actually shallower than mine, and that's because mine, if you remember, mine is elevated 3 feet because it's on the island. And then you see there's another little search pit. They actually connect to each other, and they use the same water for filtration. And you see all them little stub ups. It's for the splash pad. They have a really nice splash pad here, and those are all the stub ups for it. But I'm looking like next week I'm gonna get in here and clean it all out. I'll probably put a camera up, GoPro up, and you can watch me clean it up. Make sure she's all good to go. But nonetheless, this is the pump house for that attraction we just looked at. Something that's kind of cool that I need to put on mine, because you can see the stubs can go up. They go up, right? They go across. So you get air pockets in here, and we call it airlock, and it can affect the flow, of course, and it's going to affect the pressure on the pump. So these are installed, and what they do is they actually purge air and a little bit of water, but mostly air, to get out of the pipe, which is really nice. Something I want to install on mine at one point. We will. But we'll get it going, boys. Well, team, so we're talking about how we move the river water. I've shown you how we do it at my site. It uses a multiple little pumps all around the river, and it has a intake and an outtake. And if you go look at the river, it looks like a 6-shooter almost. It's a jet, or return lines, and they're on the sides of the pool. This one is different. If you see right here, see that little guy right there, those right there? So those come off of a pump, and I'm gonna walk into the pump room here in a minute, and we're gonna see them. So the water flows this way, and it's at an angle. All the pipes are at an angle, and they're cut smooth, and it pushes the water in that direction. And that's how these guys are, that's how this river is pushed. And again, we call these river motivators. So let's go look in the pump house. Here we are, team. You can see these are just simple pumps. Those come from the bottom of the river. I'll show you the intakes for those. They look just like a regular main drain for a filter, and it's the same way because they have to abide by VGBA standards as well. Any intakes and suction from the pumps have to meet VGBA standard. So the sumps and the grates are all VGBA, and if you don't know what that is, that's Virginia Grant Baker Act. It sets the standard on what we can do, or what you're required to have as far as an anti-vortex grate in the bottom of the pool. So real simple, these come from the pool, from those drains, and then they're taken up to the pump, and of course out, and then they go back to the wall. And those are going to those pipes I showed you in the last clip. So, and these are really simple. These are hard starts on those. They're pretty loud, but they make it work. They work hard. You can see this pump house needs a little bit of work as well as far as cleanliness. I'm gonna get in here and make sure there's a sump in it. She's all good to go. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next one. All right, team. We've had one full day of operation. It was pretty good. Learned some things that need to be reworked on. But overall, it was a decent day. I wanted to show an update on this. This guy is pretty amazing. Look at all that. Look at all that. All right, let's see what we got here. Mostly mulch. You can see down in there. Good afternoon, team. Welcome to today's edition. We are in the other location, if you haven't realized. I apologize if it's windy. It is pretty windy today. Gusts are supposed to be up to 15 miles an hour. I might have to confirm this, but man, this tower feels taller than mine. This is I believe it's a Wizard. I'll have to look it up. But this one is from Whitewater. This is a Whitewater's mat racer slide. Has a timing system on it as well. We got to work on it though. Get some work on it. Today I'm doing some work up here. I'm gonna put some anti-slip plates just to make it a little bit more anti-slip. I noticed something here in a second. Here, I'm gonna show you real quick. It's this brand's called No Cry. That's I've never heard of it, but that's kind of funny. Yeah, No Cry for safety gear or for knee pads. It's kind of funny to me. Anyway, we've got a few things going on. This is a continuation from the last week's video. Most likely it's already going to be in the same video as those. You see the wave pulls up. I got the filter going. I've got the kids attraction, which is right there. That's going. Got the filter running today. Got a few other things to do in the pump house, and I've got to work on wave pool pistons. So I will show some wave pool piston repairs today as well. Gonna be a lot of fun. Here we are, team. We are done with the anti-slip mats. Now, these were interesting. So what I did, if you notice, it's really clean in those areas. What I did was actually sanded those areas down to about 1,000 down. And the reason I did that was so I can get better mechanical adhesion to the gel coat itself. And it's actually pretty nice as far as the adhesion goes. I did learn the hard way on some of these. I needed this first one right here was my first, so I learned a lot just on that one. So I had to go a little wider. The mat itself actually stretches a little bit, so I had to go past all my little areas where I was doing it. And the only other thing, oh man, see, I already got water in this area. I got water coming up from here. It's just pulled back there, and then through this grate right here, it's leaning back into the slide. So it was a little bit difficult to get it right, but I had a good enough acetone I could dry out that patch of water. So one thing I didn't get to do was I needed a good rubber roller for the stickers. I need a good rubber roller for these labels, or for these adhesive pads. Unfortunately, I left mine in Houston, so I improvised and I used a paint can. It worked pretty well, actually. Could be better, but it was all right. Let's go down to the wave put room. Hey team, we're in the wave chamber. Today, I'm gonna be going through some of these pistons. So they're hurt a little bit. They're a little older, part of the older model. So I'm gonna be replacing them with the same one. I'm gonna probably go ahead and buy some new regulators. These are looking a little old. I've got new actuators as well, but I'm looking at possibly, I'm gonna replace the piston for now. But nonetheless, we're gonna get it going. So join me. Another thing we're doing here is I'm replacing this one. It's an air water separator, and also this coalescent filter. Going to get rid of it. This is this unit's pretty old, so it's gonna need some TLC. I'm most likely gonna replace the whole piece, but right now, for sure, this piece is leaking. Very temporary, just to see if I got some air pressure. I can build some air pressure. I can, so that was temporary. I'm not gonna leave that there. It was leaking at the bottom. I could not find the cap anywhere. So, nonetheless, replacing with a brand new one, and then I've got the rest of this ordered. We're gonna go ahead and take care of the rest of it. All right, team. So, man, she's crusty. So this is pretty cool. I had never seen this before. So if you see it's threaded right here, right? What it is there's a connecting piece. Let me find it. It's this guy right here. And it seals on both sides. I need a clamp, of course. But it seals right here and it clamps them together. Oh, sorry. That's actually pretty cool. Now I don't have to worry about threading this son of a bitch, you know? So it's gonna be pretty good. It's gonna be pretty simple. These were pretty crusty, but I'm gonna get them out and clean them off. And we are done. New one's installed. That's the air compressor just turned off. Not really sure why it takes so long to do that. I was concentrating on this guy leaking a lot, so I didn't get to really hear the rest of it. So unfortunately, the seal that's here is bad. But what I'm gonna go ahead and do, I'm gonna go ahead and replace this whole coalescent filter. So I'll put that on order. Did want to talk about the pistons, the way these work. So really simple, actually. Of course, you have air comes in through this line. And if you watch this line right here, there we go. You watch this line, it goes down to this connection. So what this is 110 volts sending to this switch, this actuator valve, or this pneumatic actuator. So all it does, real simple, and you can actually probably follow it on the pad there. Air comes in, and when it switches, normally closed, it's normally closed, so it's pushing air to one side, which it's gonna be the top end side right now, pushing the piston down. That's home for these pistons for the wave maker, right? Whenever it turns on, it actually powers this up, which pulls the plunger. There's a plunger here, and it pulls it back, and then releases air into this one, and expels air out this one right here to allow the piston to move up out of this chamber. So there's two chambers, right? So top chamber, and then the bottom chamber of the piston. So really simple, actually. There's two things that fail on these for us. Let me get up here a little bit closer. So the two things that fail for us is gonna be this seal right here. It's kind of hard to tell, but that seal right there gets, the shaft gets rusty, and it just tears that seal apart. So that's the seal I'm gonna be replacing. Parts are coming in. I have a new piston to stab in here, so that's what I'm going to do. And then the pneumatic actuator here actually fails. These are, you go want to grease them about every month or so. Easy way to do it is you just take this one off, you squirt some grease in there, that's it. And it's a special grease for these Parkers, but you know what, I've never really been able to find it instead of the little packets that come with it. So I steal them from the service kits, and I use it on that. But usually if I'm going to do that, I'm just going to take the whole thing off and redo the whole piston that's in there, or the plunger that goes back and forth. So, and then what these guys are right here, these are air regulators, right? Pressure regulators. So because we don't want these slamming going pa-pa, pa-pa, these will control how much air is being pushed into the lower or the upper chamber to allow the piston to go up or down. We'll want to control these to make sure that the piston's not going to break itself apart. Plus, if it gets too much, if it's got too much going on up and down, it will start to rattle these apart. What I've also seen is that it takes, what am I thinking? Oh, where it'll bust the seal even worse because it goes up. There is a part where it stops, but it just keeps going and smashes the inner seal and just keeps hammering. Continuing after the damn air compressor turned on. I've got two. There's one inside, one outside. So what I did, I changed them. So this side is usually for the lower end of the piston, which will push up. Right? Am I right? Yes. Yeah. Okay. This one is for, no, this one pushes it down, sorry. No? Yeah. What's going on here? Oh, well, look at that. Interesting, interesting. Why did it do that? Oh. So air's coming out the top end. That means that the seals on the inside of the piston, on the inside of the piston, are actually bad. That's what's going on here. Fun. Now we've got it in test mode. Hopefully we can hear you. See how it's stuck? So I think what it's doing is it's fighting itself because the seals are bad on the inside. So I'm gonna check here. And the way I do Hey team, what is going on? I am up in the air right now. You look over, yeah. It was pretty windy yesterday. I was gonna do this job yesterday. Unfortunately, it was just too windy. So, anyway, you probably have never seen this, probably never even noticed it, but this is how we get water to the slides. That one is the main pipe that comes in, and then it just splits off to two 4-inches, to two 4-inch pipes. So you get water on both sides equally. Pretty nice setup up here. I'm gonna hang some wires. You see I hung that one right there. I was working on this guy right here. Gotta make sure it cures out. It's doing pretty good. And what these are is the dispatch system. So the red light, green light. You've seen those on some attractions. That's what that is. All right. We've got a lot going on. Pretty busy today still, but so far we are looking good.